everybody, my name is Carline3339 and welcome back to another video. Today in this one I'll be doing another Why It Got Banned video, and in this one I'll be covering why Artifact Scythe is banned and if it can come off the list as well. Yeah, at the time of this recording, Artifact Scythe is actually one of Yu-Gi-Oh's most recently banned cards, being banned in the February 2023 ban list, and in this video I'll be covering the history of Artifact Scythe in the metagame, a combo showing off what the card is trying to do, and why it got banned, and if it can come off the list as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. But before we can cover the history of Artifact Scythe, we must cover the effect of Artifact Scythe. It's a level 5 light fairy effect monster with 2200 attack and 900 defense, and the effect reads as follows. You can set this card from your hand to your spell trap zone as a spell. During your opponent's turn, if this set card in the spell and trap zone is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, special summon it. If this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. So yeah, that is the effect of Artifact Scythe. Now let's get into the history of Artifact Scythe. Now on to the history of Artifact Scythe. So on May 16th, 2014, Artifact Scythe is released in Primal Origin alongside the rest of the Artifact archetype, and it immediately sees play in hat format. Now you actually might have heard of this format recently because it's probably the third most popular Time Wizard format, right behind Edison and Goat format. And hat actually stand for something. It's an acronym. It's H stands for hand, A stands for artifact, T stands for trap trick. And in this format, the deck hand artifact trap trick is actually one of the most popular decks in the format, and that's why hat gets its name. Now, is it the best deck in the format? Maybe, but we're not going to get into that here, but just to let you know. So Scythe is immediately seeing play in this format, and then for the next couple of years, it sees plays in decks splashing artifacts and as an artifact sanctum target as well. I'll be skipping a couple years in the timeline here for two reasons. One, well, Scythe wasn't banned in any of these years, so there's no reason to really cover these years. Scythe is seeing play. Something like Shaddoll Artifacts is a deck that is being played. Cosmos can pop their own back rows, popping something like the Scythe to get its effect and stuff like that. But I decided to skip this part of the history because Scythe never gets banned in this, and none of the cards in this time frame helps get Scythe banned later on as well. So I decided to skip that. And two, it just makes the video shorter. You don't want me covering 2015, 2016 history when really that's really irrelevant to why Scythe got banned. So yeah, we're just be skipping a couple years into the future now. Then on October 19th, 2018, the trap card Trap Trick is released into Yu-Gi-Oh! And with this release, Artifact Sanctum went from 3 copies to 6 copies, which is very, very relevant because Sanctum was a side deck card at this time alongside with Scythe. So when you know you're going first, you would side in Sanctum. You know, if you draw it, set the Sanctum during your opponent's turn, activate Sanctum, special summon Scythe, lock your opponent out of the extra deck, and then when they have to pass back to you, you kill them on the turn, just preventing your opponent from playing the game. And with Trap Trick, it went to 6 copies just to make it more consistent for you to get to Scythe. But even with this release, it still is more of a side deck card. You don't really see it being main deck at this point, just because you just want it when you know you're going first and want to lock your opponent out of the game. So not in the main deck just yet, but we will be getting there soon. But at this point in history, it's still more of just a side deck card. Then on March 3rd, 2020, Crystron Halka Fibrax, Predaplant Verte Anaconda, and Artifact Dagda are released in Dual Overload. All these releases will make Artifact Scythe become powerful, but it does not happen straight away. Crystron Halka Fibrax immediately does see play in the metagame, with Linkross being legal in that format, so that immediately becomes meta. But Verte and Dagda kind of lag along, but they are very important to Scythe's history, so I did want to cover it here. But yeah, just recognize these 3 get released, and they are important to Scythe, but Artifact Scythe doesn't really cause a problem just yet in this point in history. Then on October 29th, 2021, Baronet de Fleur is released in Legendary Duelist Synchro Storm. Again, this is one of those releases that it doesn't immediately see play with Artifact Scythe, but it is an important card for later in the future and why something like Artifact Scythe is banned. Then on November 5th, 2021, Destiny Hero Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, aka DPE, is released in Burst of Destiny. And then with this release, the powerful Artifact Scythe DPE combo comes into the meta. So basically what would happen is you would use Artifact Dagda, Predaplant, Verte, Anaconda. You would trigger Verte Anaconda's effect, sending Fusion Destiny from deck to graveyard, then chaining Artifact Dagda's effect to set Artifact Scythe from the deck. Resolve the chain, Fusion Destiny will special summon DPE from your extra deck, and then during your opponent's turn, you will go DPE effect, destroying itself and Artifact Scythe. Scythe Chainlink 1, DPE Chainlink 2, and then Scythe effect will bring itself back out, and then Scythe effect on field, locking your opponent from the extra deck. And that interaction itself becomes one of the most important interactions in this metagame, because again, this metagame, except for Flunder, every other deck relied on the extra deck. So getting that combo off was absolutely devastating, especially if your opponent, stopped your combos. You can always just make Verte go into DP, and then if you have the Dag to get Scythe, it was just a very, very dumb combo that was very good. No longer need Sanctum for Artifact Scythe, and with Dagda being out now, Scythe is searchable. It's settable technically, but you know what I mean by searchable. Very powerful interaction in this format. Then on February 7th, 2022, Fusion Destiny is semi-limited. And this does literally nothing because Verte is still legal. They can literally put Fusion Destiny 2-1 and it would still do nothing because Verte is still legal. As long as Verte was there, it made Fusion Destiny just basically searchable for any deck. Now let's get into the combo portion of the video, showing off a combo with Artifact Scythe. But before we can get into the combos, I must be showing you the deck that I will be using for the combo itself. This is Adventure Synchro. This was a very popular deck in this format. And you can see this is a 50 card deck. Now that's pretty standard for Adventure Synchro list. I've seen a lot of lists that actually play 60 instead of 50, just because it's playing a lot of 1-ofs and you don't really want to see those 1-ofs. So you play a lot of cards just so you don't see that. And as you can see, there is a lot of banned cards in this deck. Fairy Tale Snow was legal at the time, that's now banned. Scythe is banned, Verte is banned, Hulk is banned, Auroradon's banned, and Res Rose Dragon is limited now. Very, very good deck. Again, it was one of the most popular decks in the format. So yeah, without further ado though, let's get into the combo, shall we? Now on to the combo itself here. So this is a typical hand you might see in the deck here, and we're going to be versing against No Interruptions just to show you what the deck can do. So let's get into the combo, shall we? We'll go ahead and do Standby Main Phase. We'll activate Rite of Aramis here, special summon the token, and get out the Fateful Adventure. Then we'll do E-Telly to special summon Zen Admin, triggering the Fateful Adventure here to search the Draco back. And then we'll do this other effect of Fateful, searching the Wandering Griffin Rider, discarding the Draco back, and then Draco back effect equipping to the token. Then we'll do Wandering Griffin Rider to special summon. That gives you the Omni Negate, which is very important to play around hand traps. And then we'll go ahead and do Zen Admin effect, searching out Foxy Tune by paying 600. Then doing Foxy Tune effect, discarding itself and Nibiru to go ahead and special summon Madam Spider. We'll do Madam Spider effect, paying 600 to search the trap card for the Punk Engine. Then we'll go ahead and link into Halka Fibrax. Halka Fibrax effect triggers to special summon Red Rose Dragon from the deck. Then we'll synchro summon into Baronet de Fleur here, keeping that Omni Gate on field. Then we'll do a Red Rose effect in graveyard, since it was sent to the graveyard as a synchro material. You can special summon a Rose Dragon. We'll summon out Roxy Rose Dragon, effect triggers a Rocket's Road to search Basil Rose Shoot. And then we'll go and using the token in the Rocks Rose, we'll make a Yazi. And then we'll do Baron effect to pop the Yazi. And then Yazi effect in graveyard will trigger to special summon a worm from your deck. The target here is Mermere. We'll do Mermere effect, special summon a token. We'll do Mermere effect to special summon another token. We'll link one of the token, make a Link Spider. Then linking the token and the Link Spider to make an artifact Dagda. We'll do Mermere effect here to go ahead and special summon one token. We'll chain the Dagda to it to set artifact Scythe from the deck, and then getting the other token off Mermere. We'll do Basil Rose Shoot to special summon out Rocks Rose Dragon, and then we'll go and synchro summon the token in the Rocks Rose to make a Cupid Pitch. We'll do Cupid Pitch effect to increase its level, so now it's a level 7. We'll do Envision a Chaos to search Magician Souls here, and then top deck one of our cards in hand. We'll top deck the the ritual. We'll do Souls effect here, sending the Illusion of Chaos. Special summon, we'll do Souls effect, sending the Fateful just to draw one. You can send 2 if you want to, but we want to keep the Scythe on the field here. We'll go ahead and we'll draw. That gets an effect Veiler here. And then we'll go ahead and link Mermere and Halka Fibrax, make a Verte and a Conda here. And then we'll link the level 1 Magician Souls and the level 7 Cupid Pitch. Make the Boral Sword Savage Dragon. We'll do Cupid Pitch Chainlink 1, Savage Chainlink 2. Savage will equip Hulk to get 2 counters on it. Then Cupid Pitch will inflict 800 damage to our opponent and search ourselves the Hop Ear Squadron. Then we'll do Verte effect, paying 2,000, sending the Fusion Destiny, Celestial, and Dasher. Make the DPE. We'll set 1, move to the end phase, and we'll pass turn to our opponent. Very, very, very good end board here. So even if they have something like Super Poly to get rid of something like Verte and DPE, you still have Baron's effect to special summon out Scythe. So you have 2 ways to special summon out Scythe here. If you have Scythe in graveyard, obviously, you can do the Baron play, but we have it on the field here. So we'll move to end phase. We'll pass, draw, standby. We'll go ahead and do a DPE effect. Now, a lot of people were using Lancia with this as well. So when you do DPE effect, you'll chain Dagda to set Lancia and then pop Lancia and Scythe, which is very, very good. But we're not doing this in this deck. We'll pop the DPE. We'll pop the Scythe. Scythe effect, Chainlink 1, DPE, Chainlink 2. Special summon out Scythe. Scythe effect triggers on field, locking your opponent out of the extra deck while still dealing with the Omni Negates as well. Then you have the Baron Negate, you have the Savage Negate as an Omni Negate, then you have the Hop Ear Squadron as well, which will special summon and then synchro. We're playing Satellite Warrior here, and then its effect is it can pop cards on the field up to the number of synchro monsters in the graveyard. So the synchros, we have 3, so we can pop 3. Then we have the Punk Trap card, and then of course we have the hand traps in hand, but we're not going to count that. So yeah, that was kind of the combo there for the deck. Very, very good having to deal with all that. Then on Scythe, it was very much impossible to play through. Now let's continue with the history of Artifact Scythe. Then on May 17th, 2022, Predaplant, Verte, and Conda is banned, and Crystron Halka Fibrax is limited. Now, the Verte ban does hurt a lot because you can no longer just free access something like DPE, but since Hulk is still legal at this point, Hulk becomes a replacement for Verte using TG Wonder Magician to pop Scythe. So you still use something like Dagda to set the Scythe, then during your opponent's turn, use Hulk's second effect to special summon a tuner synchro monster. You will summon out TG Wonder Magician. Mandatory effect to TG Wonder Magician will pop Scythe, then Scythe effect in graveyard to special back out, lock your opponent out of the extra deck. And since TG Wonder Magician actually has a quick effect to synchro, you can use the level 5 TG Wonder Magician and the level 5 Artifact Scythe to special summon Baron, which was absolutely insane. Again, it wasn't as popular as the Verte line was, but it was still something you did have to play around. So even though Verte is banned, Scythe still does see play at this point. Then on October 3rd, 2022, Crystron Halka Fibrax is banned. It is banned because of the aforementioned second effect, but it's more banned because of the first effect to special summon a tuner from the deck. So both effects of Hulk basically got Hulk banned there. And then at this point, Artifact Scythe finally stops seeing play in the metagame and just goes back to being the best Artifact Sanctum target again, as it was before of all this combo shenanigans started happening. And also, you know, the release of Sprite and the release of Tier Limit also kind of hurts Artifact Scythe because those becomes the best decks in the format, and those decks don't really need to be playing Scythe just for them to, lock your opponent out because they're already doing things that they don't even need the Scythe to prevent your opponent from playing the game. Very, very interesting there that Artifact Scythe just becomes irrelevant at this point. So yeah, it finally seems like they've solved the issue with Artifact Scythe. So it just goes back to being this Sanctum target, as we all know. And then randomly out of nowhere, February 13th, 2023, Artifact Scythe is banned. Now this is always a little interesting because, again, as I was mentioning in the last slide here, Artifact Scythe was not seeing that much play because, again, the best decks just did not use Artifact Scythe. It was just more of the, side deck Sanctum thing. But Scythe ends up getting banned in this list. Now, I'm not going to be complaining. I hate Scythe personally, but Scythe does end up getting banned. So yeah, that is the history of Artifact Scythe. Now let's get into why it got banned. So, why is Artifact Scythe banned? Well, the first and main reason why is it locks your opponent from the extra deck. And that's where we should stop. That's where all the conversation just ends. It locks you out of the extra deck. That is the reason why it is banned. Yes, I mean, that's an insane effect. Even in today's metagame, it's so powerful an effect. That is the main reason why Artifact Scythe is banned. And good. I know a lot of people might complain because, again, a lot of people just don't like combo anymore. A lot of people do just hate it. But effect like this, just preventing your opponent from playing the game, absolutely just fucking sucks. I'm glad it is banned. 2, Artifact Dagda basically just made it searchable. I know searchable is not technically right. It made it settable. But then you would just need some sort of effect to pop Scythe on field. So meaning you didn't need to hard draw or anything like that. So Dagda was kind of another reason why Scythe got banned. But the third reason, and maybe could have been a reason as well, is Trap Track was about to be released in the TCG. Now, if you don't know what Trap Track does, it's basically just Trap Trick 2.0. It would pop a monster on your field to set a trap from your deck, and that trap was activatable that turn. So basically, Sanctum was about to go from 6 copies to 9 copies. So they probably wanted to get rid of Scythe before that becomes a problem. Now, that probably isn't the reason because something like Dimensional Barrier is still legal in today's format. And Trap Track can absolutely abuse that, but Dimensional Barrier is not hit whatsoever. That card is still at 3. So, but again, something to consider when you want to think of why Artifact Scythe got banned, because Artifact Scythe did just get hit out of nowhere, because in the previous format before it got banned, it was not seeing play, like, at all. So it was very much of a surprising hit. Again, I like the hit, but again, a surprising hit. So it could be something like that people were considering as well. So now let's get into if and get unbanned. So, can Artifact Scythe be unbanned? No. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck this card. This card deserves to stay on the ban list forever. Fuck this card. I hate this card so much. I'm so glad it's gone. Does not deserve to come back. I'm sorry. If you don't like combo, I can understand that. But fuck, this card was just so much of a problem. So glad this card is gone. We don't have to deal with it anymore. So glad to see this go bye-bye. And I hope to never see you again. So yeah, that was it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.